Ayahuasca is an ancient plant brew that the people of the Amazon have been drinking for over 1,000 years to communicate with the spirit world and to heal numerous maladies. It is a powerful hallucinogenic, and many people describe their experiences with the plant medicine as hard work, as difficult, and even terrifying. Drinking it causes many people to get nauseous and to throw up. So why, I hear you asking, would anyone in their right mind do something so foolish? It's because those same people also say that the experiences are beautiful, insightful, and even life-changing. In June 2019, I decided to travel to the Amazon to try ayahuasca for myself. This is my story. Almost looks like a frontier town. It's you can't get here by car. There is no road directly to Iquitos. The only way to get here is either by boat, which would take ages, or by plane, which I did this morning. And it's a 2-hour flight from Lima, and it's almost exactly 1,000 kilometers away from Lima. Check what's sitting right here. There are a bunch of animals around that really add to the mystique of the place. It's very obvious around here that everything in tourism revolves around ayahuasca. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I guess this is the mecca of ayahuasca, so it draws a lot of those kinds of people. It was my understanding that I was going to do this with a group of like 12 other people, which I really like the idea of that because then you have a bunch of people to talk to. You're not the only one going through something as intense as an ayahuasca ceremony or a bunch of ayahuasca ceremonies. And today I met the guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, everyone else canceled," which doesn't give me much confidence, which is actually something that I joked about before, thinking about what's the worst case scenario if at the end everybody else cancels and it's just me by myself. Well, that came true. I'm gonna go to sleep. Hopefully I can sleep without too many thoughts in my mind. And then tomorrow we'll have breakfast here, and then we'll go to a dock somewhere, and a boat will bring us to the retreat.
Cumbia amazónica. Vamos a gozar con mi cumbia amazónica. De la selva. Vamos mamanchi.
The place is absolutely amazing. Check this behind me here. So we're right on the banks of the Amazon. The sun is about to go down, and the jungle has come alive with lots of noises, frogs and crickets, I guess. I'm not sure. And in a few minutes I will have a ceremony, which is not an ayahuasca ceremony, but a Nunu ceremony. I'm not entirely sure what that is. They're going to explain it to me. And tomorrow morning is a Kambo ceremony, which I'm not really that hot on, but I guess when in Rome, you should just like do it, I guess. And there's a lot of nice people here that seem to know what you're talking about, so I guess I'll just go with the flow and see what happens. the reason I wasn't so hot on the whole Kambo ceremony thing is because the way it works is the shaman takes a little stick and lights it on fire and then blows it out and then uses the burning ember to burn a little hole into your skin, which is what he's doing right now. And then afterwards, he will put some frog poison onto the fresh burn. And that frog poison is going to get absorbed into your bloodstream. And then within a very short period of time, it's going to make you violently ill. And so I knew that beforehand, and I wasn't so hot on that. I had a hard time falling asleep because I was thinking about it a lot. And then this was done the first thing in the morning at 6 in the morning. And I set my alarm clock too early, so I woke up an hour early and couldn't sleep, obviously. So I thought about it a lot. So after a little bit of time here comes the climax.
Limpio.
Do you want to clean the point or not? No.
La linterna, Jonathan, la linterna. Tranquilo.
So while I'm recovering here from the Kambo, let me also explain quickly the Nunu ceremony that I had the night before. Nunu is basically a powder that they create from a bunch of different plants that they put in a little pipe that they blow up your nose, and it's supposed to get you high and make you feel good. It didn't do any of those things for me. I just thought it was kind of nasty having that stuff up your nose, and yeah, I didn't think it was very special. So that's that. But back to the Kambo. After you throw up, so this video is obviously sped up a little bit between the administration of the Kambo and me throwing up. But after you throw up, the feeling of illness subsides pretty quickly. And it makes you feel pretty good, because I guess your body realizes that you didn't die. And this is supposed to cleanse you and detoxify you. And I'm not sure how much of that I believe, but I can tell you that it did make me feel a lot more at ease emotionally about what was to come. I guess because the fear of this ceremony was much worse than the actual ceremony. So the burn didn't hurt nearly as much as I thought it was going to hurt. And you do feel violently ill, and that is really not nice at all. But it is also very short. And so, yeah, it made me feel better.
That was interesting. That was really fast. It makes your body feel like very hot. You start glowing, like your entire body is glowing. And then you start breathing like very strongly, and my heart was beating like super fast. And then my hands are like glowing or electrified or something. But after you puke, the feeling resides really quickly, and yeah, interesting.
un po'. Ok,
It's so hot here. It's so cool. So this, I guess, is what happens after you cut down the forest for a little bit and then you let it grow, and it looks like this. So it's not like they have monoculture here. It looks like they're just cutting everything down, put some banana plants, and then don't really groom it or anything. So the jungle just grows back with a bunch of banana plants in there. It's amazing how the jungle just consumes the land. What are you gonna show me?
Caña, lechugue.
Interesting. It's actually very refreshing. Back into the jungle as well.
I'm coming.
So the next thing is I'm gonna have the first ayahuasca ceremony that's gonna start in probably less than an hour. I haven't really thought about it too much. I feel like if I start overthinking or thinking about it, then I get nervous and I get scared, and I don't want that. So thus far, I feel okay. I'm curious because it's quite a strong medicine, but we'll see. And the shaman just arrived, and he's been preparing stuff, preparing a flower bath that you're supposed to have before. There's a lot of ceremony surrounding the use of the medicine. I'm not really a very ceremonial person, so to speak, but this is part of it, and I do feel like it's good to go along with it. Last night was my first ayahuasca ceremony, and it was very interesting. The way it started was that I took half a cup of ayahuasca, which is normal when you're starting, because they just want to see how it reacts on you. And so I took that. It wasn't as bad tasting as I've heard other people say it is. I would liken it to a very, 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 very strong espresso. I mean, it's not pleasant, but it's certainly not the worst thing ever. Although I've heard that it starts tasting worse after you have more experiences. Anyways, I took that. I went back to my mattress, and I lied down, and I was very calm, peaceful. I was not scared before or just after I drank. So anyways, I lie down and I wait and wait and wait, and I don't think nothing is really happening. I feel like, you know, I'm scanning my body. I'm like, do my fingers still work? I'm kind of looking around, well, although it's really dark, but I'm trying to make out in the dark things, and I saw some fireflies outside, and I'm like, is that real or not? But, you know, it was very, very mild, and I was like, okay, this is probably just my imagination. So anyways, skip to, I don't know, what seems like a very long time later. Tanya, the facilitator, comes to me, and she's like, how are you feeling? And I was like, well, I don't feel anything. And she's like, do you want more? And at first I wanted to kind of chicken out. I was like, okay, I tried this, I went through this, and nothing happened too bad. I said, oh, let's just wait another couple or another 30 minutes or so, because I didn't want to drink something and then drink the other one, and the first one hasn't kicked in yet, because I read that somewhere. So I waited another half an hour. She comes back to me. She's like, listen, it's been 2.5 hours. Do you want to drink more? And so I was like, well, fuck it, let's just drink more. So I drank another full glass. And I went back, lied down. And again, I was just waiting. I'm just thinking, okay, this is going to kick in. Something's going to happen. And I don't feel anything. And I'm trying to feel something, and I didn't. And after a while, I'm like, well, I must have been here. Now, since my second drink, I must have been here now for like at least an hour or maybe an hour and a half. And I'm like, this is past time, you know, like if something had happened, then it would have happened by now. And I start thinking, what a fucking joke, you know. Here I am, came all the way to Peru, traveled by myself into the jungle with like on the banks of the Amazon, far away from a high-tech hospital, far away from anything, like taking a drink, you know, that's supposed to be really, really profound, and nothing fucking happens. I thought that was kind of funny, actually, so I started laughing a little bit. And then I started feeling, so up to that point I felt like fine. I didn't have any nausea, anything at all. The other guy I was drinking with, who was one of the owners of this place, he had thrown up like a half an hour before me, and I didn't really feel anything. But then slowly I start feeling stuff in my belly, and I start, you know, I'm like, oh shit, you know, this thing is in the mail, it's coming. But still no visions or nothing. And then Tanya comes to me and says that the shaman wants to do work on me. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, let's just go with it and see what happens. And so I get up, I go sit in front of him, and he sings an Icaro, and I wasn't really connecting with it. And then he blew some liquid onto my face. And the second he blew that liquid onto my face, I was like, okay, like now it's coming. Now I'm feeling something. And I saw some faint vision patterns, but very fleeting. And that went on for a while, and I could kind of control it. So, and then he's like, okay, I'm done. And so I went back, and I lied there, and it was still like very mild. I was okay. And then, I don't know, a while later, Tanya's like, okay, is it okay with you if we close the ceremony? Because it's been a long time. And I felt kind of okay. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to stay. I think I can do this by myself now. And so then they left, and it was still me and Will there, and I was lying there for a little bit, and not feeling so good. And I felt like I was, it was getting. I felt like I wanted to vomit, but I also felt like, well, if I try to vomit now, it's not going to work. And also I had some rumblings and bumblings in my stomach, that were going down. And I felt like, okay, maybe I have to go to the bathroom. So I got up, I stumbled to the bathroom, and I knew I had to vomit, but I was like, I don't want to vomit, let's just try to shoot it out the other end. So I sat on the toilet for a while, obviously didn't come, and then I just decided at one point, what are you, like, what's your problem, man? Just just turn around, go on your knees, just stick your finger in your throat and just get this thing out. And I did, and finally it worked, and I was a little bit relieved. I stumbled back, and I was like, okay, I'm done now. And I went, so I grabbed my water bottle, I go back home. So I lie on the bed, and I'm still sick, and at some point I start feeling, well, why am I sick? What is it that's making me sick? And you know how we all have this voice in our head that is constantly talking about everything that we see or sense or whatever? When you're, or I don't know if you have it, but I have it. When you talk to someone, constantly, like, there's a little voice that says, oh, she's dead, or she's that, or oh, he just did this, and because he's insecure, or like stuff like that. I constantly have this little voice, like, talking about never shutting up. And I started realizing, like, what's making me sick here is that stupid voice in my head that is doing two things. It's judging other people, saying, for instance, the thought crossed my mind because, like, all the people I've met around here, like, they've done ayahuasca many times, and I don't mean just at this retreat, and Iquitos as well. And something in me is like, they're junkies. They're chasing a high, and by consequence of that, I felt like I'm better than them. And I realized that is really not helpful. That's not helpful. Like, to think like that or to have that thought is not helpful. It's not helpful to me, and it's not helpful to the people around me. It's not helpful to anyone. So why do I have that? Why do I hold on to that? And so my vomiting or my purging, or the reason why I wanted to purge or vomit, was because I felt like it's those feelings that I want to get rid of, those judgments. That's one thing, judgments I want to get rid of. On the other hand, or like the second one that I was thinking is that there are many things in my behavior that make me seem, or that where I embellish things, or where I change things or act a little bit in order to seem cooler, sexier, smarter, more accomplished, and even though that's not true, even though that's a little lie. And they're not huge lies, but like there are many little lies, and they're all adding up. And I realized, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? How is that helping me? That's not helping me at all. That's not helping me, and that's not helping the people around me. So who is that helping? Who is that serving? That's not serving anyone. And so that bundle of bad feelings, I kind of saw that, I don't know, as some sort of animal or some sort of black demon. It's not like I saw it, but I felt it that way. some sort of black demon in my mind, and every time I tried to get rid of it, like it would evade me. It would either go a level deeper, or change the terms of surrender so that it's not really surrender, and you know, and it just went on and on and on and on, and I just wanted to get it out. And I couldn't puke, and it's like, to me it was like, okay, if I can't, it felt like if I can't puke, I can't get rid of these feelings, so I have to puke. And so I couldn't, because I didn't have anything left in my stomach, and I didn't have my bottle of water with me, so I was like, okay, well, if I have to vomit right now, and I can't, but I have to, then I should just grab my bottle and go, like, what's the big deal? Just walk to the bathroom, fill the bottle, drink the whole fucking bottle in one go, and then we'll see who's boss, right? We'll see, like, who wins this fight. And so I stumbled to the bathroom. I proudly, this is where my ego actually comes in through the back door again, where I proudly drank, though, like, even though I'm sick as fuck, I proudly drank that whole bottle, and I didn't, like, I wanted to drink at all, but I'm just like, fuck you. I'm just going to drink this whole bottle, and I'm going to get you out. And well, yesterday it felt good. Now that feels kind of petty. That feels like it's my ego. It's like, no, it's me versus my demon or whatever. And anyways, I'm not sure. So anyways, I went back home. I tried to puke. Finally, something came out, and I was so fucking tired. I was tired. I'm like looking at my bucket. I'm like, you're coming out, man. Like, if you know, I don't care how you twist and turn or how you try to turn this around. Like, we're breaking up. Like, you're out. And even though I didn't feel like I could get it out completely, at least like when I vomited like a little bit. And to me, it felt like, you know, it's like, well, you know, if I can't throw you out yet, I will start throwing your shit out on the street. And then, you know, and eventually there's nothing left for you, so you might as well leave. And yeah, I continued struggling for a while, and after a while I was so tired, I was like, you know what, for tonight, let's call it a draw, okay, but know that you're gonna lose and you're going to leave. It's only a matter of time. And then I found peace with that, and I finally fell asleep. Yeah, it was just fucking hard work, man. But good. It felt like this has to be done sooner or later. And if it has to be done sooner or later, then why not sooner? Because this is weighing me down. I will have my second ceremony in an hour and a half, something like that. I just had my flower bath, which is basically the shaman cleansing you and, you know, giving you good spirits for your journey and washing away bad spirits. At least that's what I understand from it. I have good hopes it goes well. It's just, man, if it's as much work as yesterday, whew, then it's gonna be a lot of work. Oh, looks I'm the first one. So, this is where Will stays, this is where I stay, and it's just the two of us. But normally you could imagine that in this room, well, it's hard to see because it's dark, but in this room there can be maybe up to 20 people, I guess. There's a bunch of candles. And then behind here are where the facilitators are. The shaman is going to be sitting there. And there's some facilitators that are going to be lying there. Yeah. And then over here is my good friend the bucket. And if you ever decide you want to do ayahuasca, then you better get used to the idea that you're going to be puking a lot, which is not very pleasant, but it's part of the experience. And as weird as it sounds, it actually, on some level, it actually feels good to do it. And then there's also some mapacho cigarettes here, which are cigarettes made out of a special tobacco that is much stronger than cigarette tobacco. Some people like to smoke that because it helps with, I guess, the nausea or the driving away bad spirits, or I don't know what, but I'm not a smoker, so I don't use those. And then next to that is our good friend, the toilet roll, which, well, it's not even a full toilet roll actually, this one, but which is the sidekick of the bucket. So whatever doesn't come out of the front comes out of the back. So for the back you have toilets at the end, like through the door there's a hallway. At the end of the hallway there are 3 toilets. So yeah, so puking or shitting are both versions of purging, of getting rid of bad spirits and bad thoughts and the contents of your stomach. Oh, fuck. Yesterday was my second ceremony, and it was pretty profound. You have to go into the ceremony with intentions, and the intention I had this time was for the ayahuasca to show me how to love other people, and how to love myself. And boy, did it deliver! It was quite a journey. It was quite amazing. So I drank the ayahuasca and I went back to my mattress, and I drank a full glass this time. And I lied down, and after about 45 minutes, I started seeing some visions. I was lying down, and then I started feeling tingles all throughout my body, in different places. I started feeling tingles here, tingles in my stomach, tingles in my shoulder a lot, and I was asking the ayahuasca, what is this? And she would, like, it was just a presence. It felt like a presence, and she was like, "Oh, we're just scanning your body. Don't worry about it. We're just scanning your body." So I'm lying there, thinking about, all the scanning that's going on, and then that tingling goes to my head, to my brain, and that's where it stayed for a long time, and it got gradually more and more intense, and it felt like brain surgery. And it started out kind of slow, but then it got intense and more intense and more intense and more intense, and I'm like, this is weird. I just feel weird. And then I start seeing visions of, it's very hard to describe, there were kind of machine parts. I saw machine parts like pistons and cogs, but it's not really like a super clear visual. It's just that, like, I don't see it with my eyes. I see it with my mind, and it gets more and more and more and more intense, and it got a little bit frightening. And I'm like, what are you doing to me? What are you, like? This is so weird. I don't understand. And then she was like, I know you don't understand. I know you don't understand. I know this is strange, but trust me, this is good for you. So I was like, okay, this is good for me. So all this time, I'm kind of repeating my intention. I'm like, show me how to love. Show me how to love. I'm trying to concentrate on that, as opposed to the flipping switches in my brain, like that little that's going on everywhere here, and I'm like perplexed by it. And then after a while, so I'm going, show me how to love, show me how to love. And after a while, this text appears in front of me like a billboard in like impact font. And it says, don't judge. Don't judge. If you want to love, then you don't judge. If you want to love someone, then you don't judge them. And I took that to mean as, that's not to say that if somebody else does something, people can do stuff that you don't agree with, or people can do stuff that seems completely illogical to you. And it's okay to not agree with that, and it's okay to even, like, guide the person. But what I felt is not okay is to kind of dismiss the person as saying, well, this person's just crazy, or this person's lazy, or anything like that. Because if you were in that person's position and you went through their life and you went through all of their circumstances, then you would have come to the same conclusion. Therefore, don't judge. And that was pretty profound. And I felt like a kid, and I felt like she was teaching me. And then she showed me a few examples, and she showed me a girl I like. And then I was like, oh, you know, I had this feeling, oh, I like this girl, but like, why is she wearing that stupid scarf? And then she was like, you see what you just did there? You judged. I mean, you like her, but you judged. So cut that out. So you kind of took it away from me. She's like, if you want to love, then you don't judge. You don't, like, you love someone completely. And so that went through my mind a couple of times. And all this time, like, man, that it gets more and more intense, these little clicky things in my head, electricity, I don't know what. And it's starting to look like my brain is being twisted and turned, but like I'm just doing it in 3 dimensions, but like it feels like it's being twisted and mashed in like 5 dimensions. If you can imagine, well, you can't imagine that, right? So, well, like that's how screwed up it feels. But it was still kind of bearable. As it gets more intense, more and more often I'm asking her, like, what are you doing? Why is this so weird? Why is this so weird? That came back each time. Why is this so weird? And she kept saying, just because you don't understand, I understand that you don't understand. I understand this is confusing. I understand this is weird. I understand this is unpleasant even, but trust me, this is good for you. And this whole thing of trust kept coming back. Just trust me. Just trust me. And so, and as it's really intense at this point, I'm just like holding on, and I'm like, okay, trust. And then at one point she says, if somebody asks you if you want to drink more, then you can take another glass, trust me. And okay, so I had that in my mind. And then a facilitator comes to me and she asks me, do you feel anything? I'm like, yeah, I'm tripping. And she's like, do you want more? And I was frozen. I was like, I am tripping balls right now. I can't take more. And so I didn't. And then a little while later, she comes up to me and she's like, the shaman wants to do work on you, meaning that you go and sit in front of the shaman and he sings an ikaro just for you. And as I walked up, she asked me again. God damn it, she asked me again. I didn't want her to ask me again. Because in the meantime, I had kind of mulled it over in my head. I'm like, I can't do this, but I want to trust her. I want, and if she says, I can or I should have another drink, then I should trust her. And then I was like, okay, like I can't do another whole other drink. So I was like, maybe I could do half a drink. But I was afraid to ask. And then she said, well, do you want another drink? And I'm like, okay, let's just do half a drink. And the shaman she told the shaman, and the shaman was like, okay, but un poquito, just a little bit, which I was happy with. So I was like, okay, you guys decide how much I get. So he gave me another half a glass. And I'm like blowing into that cup. My brain is like twisting in all kinds of weird ways. And I'm like, okay, I trust you. And I drank it. And then after that was done, I went back to my mattress. And I was like super sick. I was like heaving and wanting to throw up, and it was just total darkness. I I liken it to like a black tunnel of negativity, and just with a light at the end of the tunnel. And that light to me represented trust. And I kept repeating trust, trust, trust as I go through this tunnel, like following the light. Trust, trust, trust. Like stumble, find your where did I leave my bottle because it's dark. And grab the bottle, take a big gulp of water. And all this time, the ayahuasca is telling me, it's okay. It's okay. Like I'm telling ayahuasca, this is so hard. Like I can't do this. And she's telling me, no, it's okay. Take just another step, And I'm like, oh, I can't. I have to throw up, but I can't throw up. And she gives me options. She's like, well, you could just take a big gulp of water. That's gonna help. You kind of throw up. And so I take a big gulp of water. And each time I can't do it, she's like, no, take another step. And then I finally do throw up. And I have this like big elation. And then she tells me, you suffered. You did all the suffering. But I was with you every step of the way. And you were not alone. And that made it easier, didn't it? Or that made it more bearable. And at that moment, this is difficult for me to talk about because it's at that moment I realized that let's say my mom is getting older and she might not be, I mean, she's healthy now, but she's not going to stay healthy forever, and she's not going to live forever. And I realized that as she gets older, it's important for me to be there every step of the way. Because suffering is bad enough, but if you have people around you that help you, that makes it more bearable. And I just started crying like I am now. It's the third time today I'm telling the story to different people, and it's the third time I'm choking up. Because for me it's really profound. Like, it's easy to tell somebody, like, yeah, you should be there for other people when they are in need and when they're suffering, or when the situation is hopeless. When the situation is fucking hopeless, like the end is near, whatever, that you should be there for them. That's like easy to say that to someone. But just saying that to someone, maybe like I'm telling you right now, doesn't connect the dots, or didn't connect the dots for me. What I had to do is she had to put me in that situation where I was dying. When I came to that realization, all of a sudden, all the path that she brought me before, where she's like, no, trust me, this is good for you, this is good for you, all of a sudden that made sense. The whole thing made sense. Boom. And I just started crying. I was like, what a gift. What a gift. And then I started realizing, look at it. Look at all the people helping me right now. It's not just the ayahuasca that is helping me. It's like all the people in this place are helping me. You know, the shaman is helping me, the facilitator is helping me, like the other people are helping me, the staff is helping me. And I was like, the animals are helping me. Like the cat just left. There was a dog here. There's so many animals here and people here that are all just full of love. And that's like really profound. And then this morning, I still feel things flipping in my head, like not the super intense stuff anymore, just but every now and then it was like in different places where it's like, this is how you fix this relationship. That is how you fix that relationship. This is how you make this relationship better. This is how you make that stronger. This is how you make this stronger. This is how you make that stronger. Like boom, 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 boom. I mean, you know, maybe you think, yeah, well, okay, dude, you just got fucked up. You know, calm down. You know, but it feels profound. It is profound. I don't care. It is profound, and it really helped me a lot. How tall is this tree?
70 meters.
Yeah, walk in front of it so I can see how big it is. This thing at the base of it, this must be, I don't know, 12 meters wide at the base of it. It's massive, this thing. Look at that, man. It's just a wall of wood. I wasn't expecting something this big. Because all the other trees are, yeah, some trees are kind of big, but not like this. So they say this tree is 500 years old, 60 meters high, and there are not that many of these trees left because people cut them down. I don't even know how you would start cutting this thing down, because it's not like you can find a saw big enough to go through that whole thing at once, but they say they cut it down because you can make an entire wall of wood out of one plank. Like a little cubby hole made out of wood, made out of the same tree. What a monster. So yesterday I had my third ceremony, while the other two ones I had before were really a ton of work and a lot of suffering, but also very rewarding and very good overall. The one yesterday was not that good, and I didn't really get any takeaways from it. I guess you can't always win. They changed a little bit in the ayahuasca. They said that they wanted it thicker, so they boiled it for a bit to evaporate some of the water, and so it was going to be stronger. And because I didn't really want that, I instead of taking 1 cup, I took 3/4 of a cup, and that's probably my mistake. Maybe that wasn't enough. So I took 3/4 of a cup, and I didn't feel anything for a very, very long time. And then at some point they asked me if I wanted more. I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't really into it that much. yeah, maybe my intention wasn't that good either. I asked show me the universe because I wanted to, you know, because I wanted to see some spacey things because I hear other people talk about that and they think it's really cool and but I guess that wasn't a store for me. I just got sick. I just got sick and I eventually threw up and then afterwards I felt better. And that was it for for last night. Ran out of fuel, and now we don't have any fuel left, so we're getting a tow from somebody. So we're going to this gentleman's house over here. His house is right there, and they have gas. I hope he takes credit card. There's a big football match going on between Brazil and Peru, and it's the first time that Peru can play Brazil in 40 years, and it's a big deal over here, so everybody's listening to it. So the guy in the middle of the jungle is listening to it on his radio. My last ceremony was peaceful. I got better at the purging part. Instead of suffering for hours, trying to not purge and hoping the feeling would subside, I made a conscious effort to get the bad stuff out as soon as I felt like it was coming. That made the whole experience significantly less difficult, but sadly, also less profound. I did not have any strong visions or profound insights or takeaways. I wanted to get more deep insights, to see mind-blowing visions, to be blasted out of physical reality into another realm and be surrounded by spiritual beings, to meet God, whatever that means. I got none of those things. People say that ayahuasca gives you what you need, not what you want. After thinking about this for a while, it seems like suffering is an integral part of the experience. The day after, the idea came to mind that without suffering or challenge, there is no growth. This idea was immediately followed by the idea that if there is no growth without suffering, then perhaps there is no suffering without growth. So why not just stop growing then? The answer is that not suffering is not the most important thing in life. The most important thing is to live the most beautiful and interesting life possible, with all the ups and downs that come with it. To create unforgettable stories, to share them with others, and to realize that we know nothing and we are all just trying to figure things out as we go along. I realized that if we do the same thing day in, day out, on autopilot, smack in the middle of our comfort zone, we are already as good as dead. I realized that the fear of not being good enough or not knowing enough is an illusion. Life is not about knowing, it is about learning. It's not about failing or succeeding, it is about both of those things and everything in between. It's about the process, not the end result. There are endless new things to do, new people to meet and new places to visit, but only one life to do it in. So don't let fear hold you back. Just go and do something that inspires you.